My name is Sarah Grace. Everyone at the shop calls me SG. I'm from Tennessee originally. I've lived in New York for just over 3 years now. I became a barber because, originally I had gone to school for cosmetology, which is hair color, cutting, nails, skin.
My name is Danny Martinez, AKA Danny the Barber, from Queens, New York, cutting hair, licensed since about 2003, but I picked up the clippers when I was like 15, so I've been blazing since then.
Professionally, I began to work with a master, like a dually licensed hairstylist / barber. And I worked with this gentleman for a number of years. He was a salon owner. And it was through him that I got formal training in ownership and in styling.
My name's William. I've been doing hair for over 25 years. So I think the first time I picked up a pair of hair clippers was in 1992 or 1993. And basically, was touching up what I felt like the barber didn't do all the way. Back then, being a teenager, they would just like rush you in and out. Like, yo, let me get a fade, and like, okay, yeah, zun, zun, zun. And then, rush you out. Most of the we're teenagers, most of the barbers are older, so you're not really gonna argue with it. And it just felt good to have a fade anyway. So, go home, fix your sideburns, fix your mustache, end up having no mustache because you messed it up with a little Bic razor, or, trying to use the big fat clippers to shape yourself up, giving yourself cuts and all that. So I figure it took me less than a year to actually be able to perform a full haircut.
I'm from Jersey. My name is Mo. I've been doing hair for like maybe 9-10 years. I mean, true story is not a story that everybody has. It's more like kind of just a young kid trying to go to school with a bunch of girls. But then I met somebody at school, and then because of that, I actually ended up working at like a really prestigious salon in Jersey. So I took a Photoshop class in high school. It wasn't for anything to graduate. I just took it just to, burn time and stuff. And I don't know, I just ended up buying myself a Mac and teaching myself it.
A gal that I had gone to school with was already doing hair in New York City. I came to visit for my birthday, and we had gone out, and she said, "You should move here." And I said, "I don't know if I could do that, because I don't know what I would do. I mean, I'm a brand new hairstylist working in Wisconsin. I don't know who's gonna hire me in New York City." But she set me up with a job. Started working at, I worked at 2 different salons in the city before I started working at Artisan Barber.
I was in the mighty Marine Corps for about 4 years. Went out right after high school. I was 18. Got out when I was right after 9/11. So I was like 22 when I got out. I was cutting everybody in the barracks. I was cutting a lot of my buddies outside of base. It was a good way to stay out of trouble too. So I would sometimes cut like officers, and they would let me slack off. And so that was cool. I came back to New York actually, and I went to Atlas Barber School, which isn't there anymore. Shout out to Rita and everybody, and Lloyd, big up. Rest in peace to all the teachers who were there. They know who they are. So I went there, I went to school there in 2003. I worked at the world famous Astor Place. That's where I would like to say I earned my bones. If you don't know it, you need to go there. Shout out to John and the Veza family, Mike, Don Fifi, everybody over there. I was at Astor Place for about 6 years. I was cutting there. That's where not only I learned how to cut, that's where I learned how to be a barber. And learn what not to do, learn how to deal with clients, and also learn how to work with other people, because it's one of the biggest barbershops in New York City. It's over 50 barbers, so you're working with everyone. Blacks, whites, short, tall, Muslims, Jews, Christians, everybody, and they're all next to each other. So it makes for a colorful conversation as well.
When I started cutting hair, it was the 90s, so haircuts were cheaper, obviously, but I remember doing $5 kids haircuts, $10 cuts, $15 cuts, $20 cuts, and it was a gradual process. And then moving around the country, I developed different styles based on the region that I was in, whether it was the Northeast, the South, the Midwest. So working in all those cities allowed me to develop the different styles from those areas and just add them to my repertoire. And so it's really important that you start off in a barbershop and work your way up to a salon, and then maybe slide into a spa here and there. but you want to diversify your, your work, and it takes time.
I work with smaller, privately owned barbershops, helping them out in terms of experience and consulting. And I got a chance to revamp their training program. So all of that led to me qualifying to get a job with another major brand called L'Oreal. And it was through them that I was working with Kiehl since 1851.
I've worked from women's brands to men's brands, Orbet, R&Co, anything under the luxury brand umbrella. Your brand, obviously the Artisan Barber brand. I worked with Mr. Natty's from England, with a couple of brands. I mean, just, quite a few, so I've seen all of it.
And also brands like Baxter of California, Harry's, Art of Shaving. These are all brands that as a barber, I've had some experience with. And then at the ownership level, we've been able to collaborate with brands like VH1, Warner Brothers, Harry's again, Scotch and Soda, some of our neighbors down here. And we're looking forward to other partnerships.
Working in New York City at a really awesome shop has created so many opportunities for me to pursue other aspects of hair. Since I've gotten here, I am now the personal e-commerce hair and makeup artist for Alfred Dunner and all of their editorial and e-commerce work. Recently, I was in a competition for Inked magazine to be on the cover. This is the second time I've done this competition. This time I got so much farther than I did the first time with the help of my clients and my coworkers and friends. Hopefully next year, try again next year and get even further. So, crossing my fingers.
At a Royal Barber, shout out to George. Much love over there. Then I went over there to Frank's Chop Shop, also world famous, very known, reputable, dope shop down the Lower East Side. Shout out to Mike and everybody out there. Yeah, then after that I went to Fellow Barber. Then after Fellow Barber, working there for a while, then I went to Kiehl.
So the vibe when you come into Artisan Barber, where it's very relaxed, you can come and play video games. We have an arcade. You can watch music videos. There's always great music playing. You can check out some of the hair products we have. Comfortable seating area. I mean, just really be relaxed and look forward to your haircut. We do appointments, so it's usually you're in and out. You come in, you never have to wait more than like five minutes usually, and you're just in and out. But you can also, check out the art, and it's just a vibe. It's a great vibe just being in here. Not only for the customers, but also working here. So I feel like if the people that work here are super comfortable, I feel like the clients will be as well.
My approach to design is basically the same thing as it is for a man or a woman to see somebody else of the opposite sex or the same sex, and it's basically the first impression. It's whatever you see. Simplistic though, not too much where it makes people think too much about it. Something that you can create that people look at it and at first glance they're just like, I want that, or I want to be a part of that, or it looks dope, I need it for some reason. You could sell something that's horrible, but anything with something that looks good, somebody's gonna try it, at least try it. For us, it's like you try it. Once you try it, you just can't stop. You know what I'm saying? You need it, you want it. You could say a bunch of stuff, you could write a bunch of stuff, you could do all that stuff, but basically at this point it's most like showing them what we're trying to for them to interpret of what we do. And that's just basically looking dope, fly, walking out feeling confident, just everything like that. I mean, that's what we do. A picture might speak 1,000 words, a video might speak 1,000,000 words, and words might speak 1,000,000 ideas of images in your mind. But it's mostly it started with the 50 cents.
I have a huge clientele, I have a great following. Basically what I did to get myself to where I am now is pushing my own boundaries. Someone walking in and maybe having a texture that I'm not super comfortable with, or having a cut that's hard to do, just saying, you know what, I can do that, and then studying and watching the other barbers that I work with and learning from them, I've been able to retain that information and show my clients what I'm capable of. Tips that I would give stylists or barbers that, you know, dream of doing their passion in New York City, just do it. Just do it. I moved here, I had $30 in my pocket. I slept on people's couches. I worked some really crappy jobs, but I wouldn't trade it. So if you're nervous about it, take a deep breath and jump with both feet forward, because you won't regret it, basically. So
I would say, just like you're learning a language, you need to immerse yourself in hair, in design, in craftsmanship. And you do that by really just using the internet. There are tons of classes like myhairdressers.com, and there are tons of like online portals that you can do that have videos. YouTube is a great resource. And also working with barbers in the shop for years, I would just watch my fellow barbers work, pick up little tips, things like that, and just putting in the hours. You know, there's no shortcuts, just putting in 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 hours, seeing every haircut imaginable, and building that confidence that you can execute that any hair type, any person, anytime, even with just your scissors and the minimal tools.
To the novice barber or the apprentice barber, I would say to make sure you surround yourself with barbers who are way better than you. Not at the same level, not maybe 2 years ahead of you. I'm talking about 5, not even, I'd say even 10 or more. I would hang out around barbers who've been cutting for 10 years or more. 5 years, you're cool. 10 years, you should be fire. So if you're gonna come into the industry, I would surround myself with the best people. And that's what I did. I went to Astor Place, and they're the best barbers in New York City. When I went to Frank's Chop Shop, best barbers in the Lower East Side. To the barber that's in the game, who wants to improve his clientele, I would say utilize your social media to the max. Utilize your social media. That's the best advice that I would say, because it's free advertisement. And encourage your clients to leave your, talk about you, to share your posts and stuff like that. I would encourage, word of mouth. Tell them where you work. Put your schedule up. Let them know your price range, if that's what you want to do. Show pictures of your work, but utilize the social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That stuff's golden.
For people that want to come to New York City and cut hair, I say the best thing for you guys to do, the best thing for you to do is make sure you get your license situation straight, because you'll be able to demand more money. You'll be able to work in a shop that charges at least 3 times what a regular barber shop, where maybe you might get away with working without a license. It takes at least 10 years to become good in the industry. I mean, after a couple years, you might feel like you're great, but that's your confidence in that. You gotta latch on to that. The confidence is what makes you great. And you may be excellent at a few haircuts, at a handful of haircuts, but you're learning, you're constantly learning. I'm constantly learning, and I'm going on almost 30 years I've been doing this, so it's great because you're always learning. You're learning from amateur barbers and hairstylists, and you're learning from people that are on your level as well. So you never stop learning.
The only advice I give to any barber or anybody trying to do anything in this industry, hair industry, or something with fashion or anything, is just either be the first one to do it or be the best one to do it. It doesn't matter about anybody else that's in between. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to do it, just do it. There's no such thing as failure. But don't be capped by what a barbershop can offer you or a salon can offer you. Just know that you can do whatever you want, whether it's opening up a new place or it's limitless. You can do whatever you want. Just do it. But be better than everybody else, or be the first one to do it before anybody else. It doesn't matter what it is. It just matters that you put it out there and you have no fear to put it out there. The problem is that people have fear. And with fear, you'll never ever have anything. In a world full of 6 billion people, or 7 billion, or whatever it might be, it's like somebody's gonna want your stuff. Somebody's gonna like your stuff. There is a market for everything. It's just the way you market yourself. Now, is that for you to come up with and be like, oh, this is how you do it? There's millions of ways to do it, millions of ways to do it. But the best way to do it is just trying. Because there's no such thing as failure as that, you know what I mean? And the thing is, like, for example, like Artisan Barber, it started with like an idea, a hunch, when you were younger with a couple of friends, the names, the places, the locations of where you wanted to do it. The Upper East Side is probably the hardest location to open up a spot in the city. I challenge any other barbershop to open up over here, because they can't. Because what we're doing is we're killing it and we're expanding. And now we're in the Lower East Side, and that's what we do.
And the last thing I would say in terms of like barbers pursuing their careers, I would just say, you know, now's never been a better time to be in our industry. We can obviously see that haircuts are an essential service. People need them to feel good, to operate at their best. It's a great career that earns a pretty good returns. So I would say, just if you decide to do it, you know, make sure that you focus on your skill and your customer service, making sure you take care of people. And if you take care of people, they'll take care of you.